Alright guys, a couple things. I'm going to give you a little bit of tips and tricks and try to make sense of all the madness that's going on. And like I like to say, the education is free, but the knives are not. Alright, so what I'm trying to do here is steer you guys out of the mistakes that I had made, especially if you are a starting out type of person. You know, just getting into knife making, all that good stuff. This is the video for you. It's just some of the pitfalls that you have to worry about, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. Alright, so let's go over sheaths. First of all, I only make kydex sheaths, not because I can't make leather sheaths, but kydex sheaths to me is a very simple, cost-effective way of holding your knife. You know, making a leather sheath is very time consuming and can be very expensive, and there are awesome leather sheath makers on YouTube, and I really appreciate working with them. So what I attempt to do is I try to outsource my leather sheath making. Not only does it help me out because I don't have to worry about you know, the next 20 hours making a sheath and making mistakes, and if the leather's bad or if I screw it up, I have to do it all over again, but it gives them business. All right, and I like to trade back and forth with small and other businesses on the internet, local, whatever. You got to keep that small businessman alive. You know, this is what we do. You know, we're too used to going to the Walmart or Kmart of you know, products, and if you're a craftsman or you're someone that makes something that's usable and you're local, I always try to use those guys. That's how you keep America alive, guys. So just to get back to the sheath, what I'm trying to do here is I like to make sheaths that are ambidextrous, which means you can wear them on the right side, or you can wear them on the left side, and also on this you can actually use it cross-latching and use it as a scout carry, and that's the idea behind the 550 cord. Now I know there are a lot of different options when it comes to clips. So this is the Knife Kits clip. It's already pre-formed. It works really well. See that? I lined up the holes excellently, perfectly. You know, if you want to cross carry or use it as a scout carry, there's nothing better than this. Look at that, it fits perfect. It'll fit along your belt. It works great. And I have used these, and they're not very expensive. They're only a couple bucks a piece. Tech locks, on the other hand, are a lot better, a lot stronger. They have multiple holes in it, and what's good about this is that, you know, you could use it on the cross carry, side carry, you know, either side. You can put it that way, whatever you want. But here's the pitfall, and here's where you have to really be careful. Most of my sheaths are made for this because it's very easy to make a sheath and just punch holes in it that way. But it doesn't necessarily line up with tech lock. So make sure you guys understand before you make a sheath what belt attachment you're going to use for it. Alright, so that's a huge tip. Look right there, I could put one in there and that's it. One is not going to hold it from swinging back and forth. So if you are going to use the sheath, use this as a template, not this. Alright, that's the first tip, guys. It was really kind of heartbreaking when I figured it out, and I was like, damn, it doesn't line up. So I'm just trying to save you guys some pain there. You can, I think a couple of these will fit on a diagonal somehow, but it's just not worth it. You might have to, now if somebody wanted a tech lock for a knife, what I have to do is I have to remake a whole kydex sheath. Alright, so save yourself some pain. Get this first if you are going to use tech lock, or if you are going to use some type of hardware plastic. Get that first before you make the sheath and measure it out. Alright, that's the first tip. Second tip, kydex sheaths. Alright, I love kydex sheaths. Like I said, this is what I make. Do not buy, or at least I don't buy, the thin stuff. Alright, I always try to stick to I think it's 0.80 or 0.80 or 0.92. I think it's 92 or something like that. 80, 92. They're relatively the same, just a couple millimeters thicker. If you can see here, this is a 0.60. This is a .80, and I don't know if you could see that, but there's a huge difference in the thickness there, all right, from 6.0 to 8.0. And what happens is the rivets that I have to use to connect the two are for .80 and .92. So now I have a dilemma. If I use just this size kydex, the rivets are going to be too big, and even when I press them, I'm going to have to hit them with a hammer to make them a little bit tighter, and what that does is it splits the rivet, and it looks like crap all the way down the back. So you don't want to do that. What I do to fix that problem, if I had made a mistake, is either A, order the right size rivets, the 6.0 rivets, or what I'll do is I'll use a piece of 8.0 and a piece of 6.0, and that will make sure that the rivets are nice and tightly secured. They'll move around a little bit, which all rivets do, but at least you don't have to squash them. So there's another tip. That's tip number 2. The third tip I'm going to tell you about kydex sheets is do not use acetone to clean them. I don't know if you can see that white mark on there, but I completely ruined the sheath. See the white stuff? Acetone is a great cleaner, but it does leave a film. It's not supposed to, but sometimes it leaves a film. And what happens is, if you use it on plastic, sometimes it reacts. It reacts on the color stuff, and it reacts on the black stuff. See that white stuff? I can't get that off. So these sheets aren't totally ruined because I can use them for the functionality of it. I mean, I'll probably wind up keeping them and using it for a knife for myself, and then, you know, when somebody needs a good knife, I mean, I just can't use them for sales anymore. So if I would never send somebody a sheet that has all that white stuff on it. All right, that's tip number, I think 3 or 4, doesn't matter. All right, there's another tip for you. So do not use acetone on the sheet, okay? Don't use it. The best thing to use is Windex. I don't know why. Windex works great. Use it to clean it up, no problem. It doesn't react with the plastic. Okay, a little bit of micarta, a little bit of handle material here. Right here you could see this is a piece of micarta. It's brown linen or something like that. You buy these in knife kits. It comes in a, I think 10 by 5 is what they usually come in. I like to get them a little bit bigger if I could find them. I did find this piece. This is huge. This is called Ghost Jade, and this is like some type of crazy composite. It's almost like a tile, and this is like I think 5/8, almost an inch. It's really thick stuff, and you can get G10, you can get whatever you want, but the reason that I get it 5 inches or wider is because of the knives I make. All right. If you get them thin, and this is nothing against the guy that made me this is outstanding micarta, and I'm going to buy some more slabs from him. This is just a sample piece. But what happened with the sample piece is because it's so thin right here, I can't use the handle on it. I had to use it lengthways. So let me give you an example. This is the Master Chief, all right? Back from heat treat, I have to clean it all up and I have to put handles on it. Now, the only way I measure this is I can measure it long ways, put one side here, scribe it out, and then flip it over, and then scribe it out again. But look at all the micarta that I'm wasting. I'm wasting at least a ½ inch of micarta here. So I don't want to do that. So what I do is I measure it this way. Okay? I can go back to back or whatever the case may be, but look where it lines up. See where the holes are? So the hole lines up here, and it's flush on the bottom. Now, I'm not wasting anything, because let's say I even went this way with it, okay? If I went this way with it, scribed the line, and then flipped it over, scribed the line, I still have all this, and I didn't waste any micarta, okay? So there's another tip for you. The reason I buy them in larger slots is just so my handles will fit. Now, not all knives are going to be the same. Some handles are going to be smaller. You might not care if you're wasting a ½ inch, a ½ inch, or an inch of micarta, but I care because these slabs are at least $20 to $30 a piece, depending on what you get. They could even cost more. There's more material out there. It's very expensive. Another thing with handle material. All right, this is a piece I made that I completely screwed up, and you say, wow, it looks good, it's great, what's wrong with it? Well, here's the problem. I made two left-hand sides. See the problem right there? This is the back, this is the back. This piece goes here, that piece goes there. So I had two backs. So you have to be very, very diligent when you are scribing out. Don't make two lefts, don't make two rights. You want a left slab and you want a right slab. And when you're working with it, make sure that you have enough to work with. Okay. Now this might look good, pretty good here. I might be able to work with this. It's not a total loss, but the flat side or the back side of this micarta is supposed to be on the steel itself, not facing out. Okay, I could flush sand this and I could try to make it work that way, and it probably will work, but it's just so much more work that I have to put into that slab because I wasn't paying attention. So always pay attention. Make a right and a left. If you have to mark it, mark it. What I usually do is, once I make this slab, I scribe it out, I get it formed. What I'll do is I'll take a Dremel and I'll start scratching in some indents. That also helps with the glue, but it will let me know that, hey, this is the left side, dummy. Make sure you glue it on that side because it's scratched and this side is plain. So I hope that kind of explained that there a little bit. All right, another tip for you guys. When you buy tubing material, this is my tube of tubes. I have quarter, I have stainless. This is stainless and brass. I even have brass squares in there, tubing. This is 1/8. Basically what I do is I don't like to buy in small stacks, so I buy in these big tubes. I don't know if you can see this. This is a big tube right here. All right, this is a 72-inch tube, and I usually buy them 72 inches. I do that with my steels, I do that with my pins, I do that with all the stocks that I can use. And the reason I do that is because I like to buy it in bulk so I don't have to run around looking for it. You can buy them in 36s, this will work too. This is a nice small one. A lot of times I buy my pin stock off Amazon because they are cheaper, and if you buy them in the 72 inch, all right? So it might be a pain to get one of those big 72 inches in the mail, but honestly, if you get 3 pieces and then you cut them down into rounds or pins, they're going to last you forever. And then don't throw that tube out. What I do is I take these tubes, I cut them in half with a saw, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a rack against the wall. Sort of like, I don't know if you guys have ever been fishing, you've seen those guys that have PVC, and you just make a rack and you staple it up against the wall or tie it or glue it together, and then you put it on your bench, and in this way you'll know, all right, I got stainless pins 1 inch, I got this over here 1/4 inch, I got this over here, whatever the case may be, and all your stock, you can cut these tubes relatively easy. So there's another tip for you guys. Don't throw out the tubes and buy them in large stocks. All right, let's go over to the heat treat stuff. All right, as you guys can see here, I go to Peter's Heat Treat. All right, everybody knows I go to Peter's Heat Treat. They do a great job. One of the biggest tips, I sent, I think Super C, I sent him over there, and he didn't know about the bulk pricing. This is a huge tip, guys. If you are going to send steel, make sure, at Peter's Heat Treat, make sure you send steel that is all the same type. All right, don't send them some CRV whatever and then send them some high carbon and then some stainless, because they're going to charge you for all that. They're going to charge you for different types of steel. Send them all the same steel in one batch, and send them more than 10 blades. They will give you a bulk rate of $100. Okay, all this steel right here, and this is a lot of steel, guys. I mean, I'm not kidding. All this steel right here cost me $100 for heat treat. There's over 23 blades in this selection right here, and it was $100. If you do them individually, they will charge you $25 per steel blank. So it's definitely a cost-effective way of doing it. Send them 10 or more. Make sure it's all steel. There's another tip for you. All right. I got a call from. Is this one messed up? Yeah. I got a call from Brad over there, and he was good enough to call me. All right, I did a great video on the hollow grind, and he explained to me that during the hollow grind, what had happened was I may have made the hollow too deep on the inside, and I may have made it too, for whatever case, what they call this is fried bacon, and you could see that the blade edge is completely ruined. Alright, so again, learning the hollow grind is great, but when you send it to heat treat, you cannot send it with a very thin hollow to begin with. Alright, that's a huge learning curve. It's another one destroyed. Bent. So I have 5 blades here that are completely useless. Now, I could probably send these to a blacksmith and they can anneal them, heat them up, and try to fix them. But the point is that these are 5 blades that will not go out to sale. I mean, this is junk. I won't use this. You know, if somebody wants to try and fix these, that's great, but honestly, when you get to this point, it's garbage. I mean, I lost 5 blades right here. It is going to hold up production because now I have to make more, and I have to be careful about the hollow grind. This is the only one that actually turned out pretty good. This is my EDC knife. I call this one the grasshopper, and I really wanted to get it going because these are great little knives, especially with hunting season coming up. I wanted to get that going, but now I have to make 5 new ones. Alright, so I might have to work it out a little bit, but that's a huge deal to lose 5 knives in the heat treat process. You know, I don't know if it can be fixed, because basically what happened, and he explained this to me, is that when you do a hollow grind on blades, the hollow grind, if it's thinner than the blade tip, and it's going to be thinner than the spine obviously, but if it's thinner or as thin as the blade tip, it cools off faster than the blade edge, and that's what ruins it. So when you do a hollow grind, make sure that you leave a little more thickness there, and then when you get them back from heat treat, you can clean them up and go a little deeper with your grinding. So that is a huge lesson learned. I don't want this to happen to you. These are 5 blades that no longer can be used. Alright, so be it. Not going to cry over spilled milk. It's a lesson learned from me. All the other blades seem to be coming out okay. Another tip I want to pass along to you guys. I do have some large blades here, and as a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Timberwolf, this is the Timberwolf XL. This is the, I guess, big daddy of the one that I sent over to Houndsman, and it is 1/4 inch thick. It is a big knife, okay? Really nice. I like this one. I'll probably make a couple more, but you can see it's real beefy. You know, once the handle and stuff goes on, it's going to be pretty badass in my opinion. But here's what you got to understand. The economy is not that great right now. Most of these blades up here, there's 2. I got some American buoys that have to be made. You know, I have some American buoys that I modified a little bit. Alright, they're pretty badass. These big blades, if I was going to sell them, they're probably going to be in the 300 range. Now, not everybody has $300 to spend on blades. I mean, great knife makers, poor knife makers, whatever the case, they might not have it. So if you are making blades for sale, you might want to look at a smaller product. Now, my smaller product is the mosquitoes. Alright, I have sold every one of these that I made so far because I sell them for $100. They're really small, really lightweight, super sharp, and it's $100. Who doesn't have an extra $100 to sell? Who doesn't have an extra $100 in their pocket to, you know, to buy a nice knife? And understand this, that hunting season isn't that far away, guys. Hint, hint. So try to forecast your blade designs. And I know that sounds crazy, and it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, everything is seasonal in sales. There's the 4th of July sales, there's the New Year's sale, there's a Christmas sale. Now, if you're me and you subscribe to the Hunter's Guide, or you know, whatever it is, Sportsman's Guide, they have all these sales for hunting gear already. It's summer. Why do you think that is? because they're getting ready for hunting. Okay, this is a great time to get all those hunting blades done so you can sell them to hunters, because November, December, and January is around the block. That's when these blades are going to sell like hotcakes. All right, so if you are waiting for Christmas or Father's Day, come on, what dad wouldn't want a 16-inch blade? Okay, just think about that. Summer, fall, or springtime, you might want to look at machetes, because you know they got you got to get all that wood to clear up, you know, stuff like that. Obviously, in a combat zone, there are always going to be combat knives available. You know, good luck with that, because there's so many different variants out there for different types of combat. But again, you know, try to base your blade making sales, if you are going to sell them, not only on just your design, but what season it is, what people are looking for, what's hot, what's not. I always try to ask knife makers, you know, what's selling, guy, what's selling? And just to let you guys know, here, this is the Bushman. This is the Bushman knife that I have up for sale. I have 4 of these. Okay, this is the Cato. I just sold this one, by the way. This one is sold out, and thank you very much for purchasing it. I think it's Nurse Nancy, something like that. Any case, this is the last one I had. Now, originally I said I wasn't going to make any more of them, but I've had so many people ask me about the Cato, or Cat-Do, let me say that right, Cat-Do or Cat-Do, then now I have to make more. So know your market. There's a lot of good bushcrafting knives on the internet, and this, I like this knife better because of the simplicity of the design. However, this nice swooping tanto with the dropped edge and the big thick handle, and check that work out. I mean, that's gorgeous. It is a gorgeous knife. So know your market, know where you're going with it. One last thing that I'll leave you guys with. I am going to start making a smaller line of bushcraft knives. This is the El Salvador Condor. Everybody knows this one. And I bought it for reference. It's not going to look the same as this, because I don't like borrowing people's work, but it will have that specific edge drop on it. Okay, these are very, very popular with bushcraft, and I don't think I'll be able to get leather sheaths, but I will find a leather sheath worker that maybe I can make a couple with. Again, you don't have to rack your brain to look for knife designs. If you're like me and you're stuck sometimes, it's not a big deal. You know, open magazines, go to the web forums, look what people are buying. You know, that's just a sales tip. If Japanese blades are really hot right now, you know, make a couple Japanese blades, see what people like. You know, maybe somebody wants a big zombie killer. All right, know what you're looking for, know what you can sell. All right, so look out for these. Also, I'm doing a deal with somebody that this is the design for somebody that's a I want to say desert, I like to call them desert rats, but desert survivalist guy, and I'm not going to mention his name right now, but I made a couple prototypes. These prototypes are going to go out to him and his partner, and they're going to work with them, and they're going to figure out what works, they're going to figure out what doesn't work, they're going to figure out what type of design or color or whatever it is, and this might be a production line for them, but it also might be a manufacturing line for myself. Okay, so you see how that works. Sometimes if you are going to go into the business, you might have to make a couple prototypes and, you know, work it out and just say, hey, look, you know, let's see what we can get with this. If this works out great and you got a good spokesman or someone that wants to build the line, it might work out. You never know. Alright guys, so one last thing that I'll leave you guys with, because I know this video is getting long, is the safety equipment. As you can see, I have many safety glasses. I don't care what it is, I always put on safety glasses, but they get scratched and damaged. And I like safety glasses because they're lightweight and they don't hurt the face, you don't hurt the bridge of your nose and all that good stuff. This one's a DeWalt, this one's like a Sears, Hilti, 3M. They all make good stuff. But recently, because of the sparks that's been shooting off, I had to switch to a face mask. And I think a face mask might be a little hotter inside, but honestly, this covers your whole face, and I don't want to damage my pretty face. So you might want to look at that as an option. They are cheap, if not cheaper than the glasses themselves. It just depends on what type of work you're doing. So always protect yourself. Hearing protection, make sure you're protecting your lungs and all that good stuff. Alright guys, I wanted to cover one last thing on shipping, and this will probably be the end of it. When you ship your blades, I always ship with US priority mail. If you ship in one of those flat rate boxes, it's going to cost about 12 bucks, $13 for any weight. And to me, that kind of works out because it's priority shipping. You can get an email, you can get a tracking number, and you can do sign receipt. And sign receipt means that they won't drop it off until someone actually signs for it. And if you're selling a knife that's over $200, I suggest you pay the extra money and have a delivery confirmation. Also, when you ship the blade, what I usually do, because it's $10.95, is I give it its final buff, its final shine. I don't know if you can see that on there. There's some fingerprints on there. What I will do is wrap it individually. Do not wrap it inside the sheath, okay? The sheath, like most kydex, will scratch. So what you don't want to do is send the customer a knife that's already scratched. Let them scratch it. That's why they bought it. So what I'll do is I'll wrap the sheath individually, I'll wrap the knife individually, and that will go in a nice package, and it will be oiled, and it'll come oiled. All right, I learned my lesson from that. Also, packing material. This is cardboard. This cardboard comes in about every single package I get from, you know, Amazon or knife kits or Jants, whatever it is. It's just recycled cardboard paper that I don't throw it out. I keep a nice big box or a bag or a garbage bag full of this stuff. And it saves me a ton of money to buy wrapping paper or newspaper or anything like that. I don't like to use newspaper because sometimes the print can come off on the light color sheets, so you don't want to do that. But this brown paper bag, recycled material that comes with it, save it. Hold on to it. Believe me, it'll save you a lot of money. If you think that's being too cheap, you can go to Home Depot and you can buy a roll of this stuff. This is, I think, the construction, I forget what they call it, painters, cardboard, whatever it is. It's made for long application, so you can cover your floors and walls. So when you're doing construction or paint, it doesn't come off. You can buy a roll of that and use that. It's very cheap, and this way it gives you the idea of you know, nice clean wrapping paper. Because believe me, the last thing you want to do, and I've done this when I first started, is I did a very poor wrapping job, and I didn't properly seal. I mean, I sealed the box in one of these priority mail things, and the handle came out the side because I didn't have enough packing inside the box. And when you do that, it sticks outside the box. The handle got chipped. You know, the mail courier got a little excited. She thought that you know, we were shipping bombs or something. You know, because some people react weird to blades. So, you know, don't make that mistake. Make sure you pack it correctly. Make sure you put enough packing inside the box. Make sure you wrap it separately. And definitely buy it online if you can. I use PayPal, and you could do the whole thing. If you do it inside, if you purchase shipping inside the post office, it will cost more than if you buy it online through the clip and ship. Okay, you just print it out on your printer, slap it on, and it'll cost you a lot less. I don't know what it is, it's just the way it is. Alright guys, hope you appreciate the vid. This is where the knowledge is free, but the blades are not. 3riverblades.com, check it out. Hope to see you soon. Thanks.